All right, howdy, folks. Welcome back. I told you I would be back, and I told you last night that there were going to be tornadoes today, probably large, long track damaging tornadoes, and unfortunately, we saw a lot of damage today. So, need to pray for all those people, pray for their strength, courage. Their lives just changed drastically. So, pray for all those people. It's important that we get these warnings out because, well, you can see why. All right. Anyways, a lot of that activity because of the activity on our sun. Okay, our weather is being affected by the activity on the sun as well. Okay, so we're over here at the solar report. Here's today's date, 4/26, 2024. And as you can see, we got the loop playing here. And while that's playing, I'd like to thank you guys for taking a moment of your time to come and be here with this precious family. Even if it's on replay, you're still here with us and watching and participating. So here's our activity for today. And I'm just going to let that play for a second here while I get set up. All right. So let's get into this. We have a event right here and a bigger object back in the background up there. We're going to go take a peek at that here in a minute. So let me just catch this opening frame. Also, watch these dark regions over here. You can't see them too well on this instrument, but watch on this side. You will see the dark regions surrounded by plasma. And we'll go through this frame by frame. So let me catch this opening frame here. And back up just a few. All right. Opening frame right here, 024 of 4/26/24. As we progress forward, you can see our first event popping out over here. Let's continue going forward here for a minute. Okay, our slow motion, long duration event right here. Okay, you can see this little object right here, our little black object kind of caught up in there. Also, you see this spread right here? It starts out of nowhere and just spreads in both directions from that point. Do you see that going on as well? So we got this object emerging and we have this separation event going on as well. And then let me see, where was this upcoming frame? That one? Yeah, right there. Okay, now what I'm going to do here is I want to zoom in on this here. Now, hopefully you can see this bigger round object back here in the background. You see this plasma conduit coming out and spreading around and going around it. See this little ring right here? There's a little moon right here. This is reacting to this, and it got stretched out a little bit because there's a trailing moon right here that grabbed some of this plasma right here and stretched it out a little bit. But you can see our flow asymmetries, how this conduit of plasma reaches out like that and then spreads out and goes around this bigger object in the background right there. And it's very faint, but it's there, and you can tell by the flow. Okay, it's hiding back there. As we progress forward here, you'll see that it's got these little moons that are trailing along with it here. I might have to. And it kind of goes out of frame. And then down below, we have these other ones that were tagging along with this upper one. All right, now let me zoom back out so we can use this properly here. All right, now let's get back to business here. All right, you see this dark patch over here? There's another object right there surrounded by plasma. Here's our dark object, and there's a bunch of plasma going over it. It appears there might be a secondary one up in there. Over on this side, it's a little hard to tell, but let's continue on. Note we also had the secondary event going on down here where our spires were. Now this, I have no, well, there's a little object right here, but I don't know why it's pulled this whole band out like this here. There might be a secondary object or something that's actually stretched. I don't know, but you can clearly see this one, this little dark patch right here. Okay, over on this side, it's not so defined, but right here you can sure see it. All right, so that one's inducing this CME down here. As this one exits, back up a little bit right there. You can see that one kind of exiting the frame. Okay, and these objects approach the backside of the sun, hit it, bounced off the magnetic field there, because magnetic fields can repel each other too. So these things come in close, they hit a certain boundary, magnetic field boundary, and get repelled off, and then they take a bunch of plasma with them when they go. And that one up in there is very sneaky, but it's up there. Let me just zoom into that section up there for a second. We'll let that play right there for you. Can you see that big black object in the background up there? Watch when it plays again. The first one induces it right in there. See it? It's kind of only when it's moving can you see it. Here, let's put it right there. I think that's the best spot right there. And you can see this stuff flowing over it as it approaches. Okay, so it's a big black sphere coming from here, right there. And you can see how the plasma, the sun reacted to it. The moons that are encompassing it, that are out front, it reacted to those moons first, and then the secondary blast kind of drapes over the bigger object, painting it right there. Okay, so quite the activity we got going on around our sun right here. All right, these objects that are passing by, these, burned out stellar cores, whatever they are, with moon satellites and stuff. I'll let you be the judge of that as well. Okay, but you can see it sneaking through there. One more time. And by seeing those faces and stuff in the clouds, that unlocks a certain part of your brain that allows you to be able to see three-dimensionally a little bit deeper into this picture, see three-dimensionally into that picture. Picture it as a spheroid approaching the sun, going by. The sun latches onto it as it approaches. It passes, causes one, and then continues on. All right, one more time. All right. So there's that. Now let's get on over here to the solar ham and start our report here. Oops. All right. So here we are at our X-ray flux for today. Let me just zoom in real quick on this, since we get it now. All right. So overall, it looks like a very smooth day. We had this one little jump at the end, but it doesn't look like we interacted with a big, huge object today. Now, does it? So if you were relying on this instrument for your data, well, you need to go look at the satellite as well. So overall, though, this is good. Our lower indices, too. Let me pull back so you can see that. All right, so our lower indices, we were up at 200s. We're down in the 150s now, so that's better. Okay, we're cruising along in a little safe zone right here. So our X flare potential's down to 15%, M flare 75. All right, we have no geomagnetic storms forecast. We did take on this energy last night. Remember, we saw it on the auroras. I told you there would be a yellow spike here. We had a G1 storm. So even though they said there's nothing on the way, yet we still got a G1 storm. We got struck by one of those CMEs that went south and grazed us and gave us a G1. All right, so our sunspot count is diminishing now. We still have two important regions right here. They're beta gamma, 36, 48, and 54 there. Continuing on, our auroras are pretty weak here. You can just see real quick. Let me pop open this. From about right here to right here, that's a bunch of absorption. That's a bunch of radiation that the planet absorbed that went to the polar regions and then gets diverted down to the core. All right, so the core is going to heat up and swell, and we're going to have another grinding session. Pressure will build from down below. It will rise to the surface, and we'll see the side effects. Okay, and that's not a very big event. It wasn't very long lasting, but you got to accumulate. When I look at this, it's not just this one yellow stripe. This is all this chunk right here. All right, we were down at KP2, so we had nothing to worry about back here. But since then, we've taken on this whole chunk right here. All right, so a lot of energy, not a lot, but some that we've just absorbed. Our auroras are back to normal. Right now, they're very weak, all right, which is a good indication we're not taking on a bunch of radiation right now. All right, so the two coronal mass ejections are visible in the latest coronagraph imagery. Yeah, we already looked at that a little closer than you did. Oh, here's a good shot of the, wow, can we get that? There's our object captured right there. Nice round curvature right there. And you can see the plasma dam out front. This, plasma back behind it that's still coming out. You even see this little conduit reaching out to it. All right, so there's your object captured right in their own imagery right there. And they don't even see it. Let's take a look at the tracker here because hopefully they're tracking this stuff. All right, they're still showing this one going down this direction. We already saw that one. There's nothing really going on this one either. So nothing really coming Earth direction. Supposedly, we'll see though. All right, let's get down to this little article. Wait, that's yesterday's. Okay, our rash is finally rotated around the limb now, so that's gone. Let's get on over here to the solar. All right. So Geomagnetic Storm Watch G1. NOAA forecasters say that multiple CMEs could pass close to Earth this weekend. So the other one said nothing in the 3-day forecast, but here NOAA forecasters say that multiple CMEs could pass close to Earth this weekend. So as events of April 26th show, CMEs don't have to make a direct hit to cause geomagnetic storms. All right. Oh, something new. They don't have to make a direct hit to cause a geomagnetic storm. They could give us a side swipe or a little kiss or whatever. All right, a CME misses and sparks auroras anyways. As predicted, a CME passed close to Earth on the 26th. It missed, but it was still effective. So did it miss or did they just have to backpedal? But anyways, it missed, but it was still effective. Magnetic fields in the CME's wake connected themselves to Earth's magnetic field, opening a crack where solar wind could penetrate. The resulting G1 class geomagnetic storm ignited auroras over Canada. Looks like a crown, doesn't it? All right, the sun was just about to come up when the auroras appeared. And Tyler got it. This could be the first of several CMEs on course for similar near misses this weekend. Okay. parting shot of that sunspot. That's like see all this plasma reaching up in a cylinder conduit type structure. It was only a small outburst, but it filled the camera chip on my Unigraph solar telescope. The many months of adjustment work on the instrument have paid off, and I'm looking forward to the next few months. All right, so interesting little picture there, huh? So we still got auroras from it. Remember, we saw them on the graph last night. So moving on to our Schumann now. And here's the Schumann. Whoops, get that out of there. We did have a small little scraping session, but it wasn't too bad. Nothing serious. It did intensify the 7.83 for a minute, but then we had a little lull, and we're back to normal activity again. So finally a little smooth ride as far as that goes. And, the up and down roller coaster of emotions and pain that come along with these disruptions in our magnetic field. But right now we have some smooth sailing, a little up and down, nothing too bad, pretty good continuity there. All right, let's get around over here now to the solar, or over to the SO2 here. So here we have America divided down the middle, this half bleeding out, this half going. But what I want to show you is how this storm that's going through the middle of the country right now has picked up this SO2. All right, so let me just pull it right there. Here's the center of our storm. Here's the band coming down, the comma shape right here. Now watch how it swoops up all that gas, and it incorporates it into the storm front. Okay, so right there's our current conditions. A little darker. We do have a little increase in pressure. Come over here to China. Theirs at the current moment is pretty light, but during their daytime, if we go back just a little bit, see, they had some dark patches too. All right, so a lot better at the moment though. We come down here to Java. Look, a lot of the emissions are right here from this the very corner of the peninsula right now. The rest of it's very quiet. So a little low in pressure right now, which is good. We could use a little break. China's still got its issues it'll have to deal with here soon. Well, they're already having weather issues. All right, a few other patches. Let's go check out our fulcrum point real quick. Yeah, it's still pretty defined. The other two spots here, kind of, medium, not super dark, but they're there, and they're semi-defined. They're not too dark, so that's good. All right, let's move on. Let's come back over here and go to our particulates into our sandstorm. Whoops, I forgot to put the air currents there. Now back to our particulates and sand. And then you can see, wow. All right, I'm going to put the winds on here. Okay, you can see how we got our different concentrated areas, but the wind's catching it and blowing it in all different kind of directions. It's really caught this plume and shoved it way, way up in there. So they're having a sandstorm way, way up here in Russia. It's like Moscow having a sandstorm right now. Crazy. Here's the Gobi Desert having a sandstorm as well. So there's intensified, picked up in intensity since yesterday. This one's all been directed up to here. It's taken like a U-turn and gone way up here north now, which is kind of crazy. Don't you think? Look at that. A sandstorm from Africa way up here. Something's wrong. I'm telling you, the planet's telling you something's wrong. Remember, I was talking about that little tea kettle effect or the pressure cooker effect with the steam that pokes out of the top, kind of like this right here. If that was the lid, there's the one spot where it's all. But that's sand. And then, of course, it's blowing across the Atlantic, depositing over here on South America as well. So, quite the long duration since November of 23. This has been going on and not reported on. Every once in a while, when it invades a major city and turns it dark, then we'll see, a report here or there, but still continuing, ongoing sandstorm. All right, now we want to come over here. I want to do the oceans. Oh, yes, I feel that. But it's okay. Let's go back a little bit. There we go. Now, I want to come over here, show you guys. This region's still like it was before. Over here, very similar. We got this big patch of warm water out in this Tamumasi, the biggest volcano on the planet, right there in that region. And there's a lot of hot water growing in that region. So I'll let you be the judge of that. All right. So over here, here we can take these currents off now. Thank you. All right. Over here at Taiwan, we have this patch between China and Taiwan heating up right here, this area of hot water. Also out here going up by these islands as well. There's a lot of, it seems to be volcanic vents on the bottom that are opening up and just pluming super hot water into the area. Yeah, there's things going on in there. Me. God uses every little thing to paint pictures with. So much going on, so much more than meets the eye. Well, you guys are starting to see now. So, anyways, there's that. So, pressure in that region still. Okay. Just a real quick one. Let's go back to particulates. Let's go to SO4. We'll just take the lens off. All right, this is SO4. This is another sulfide compound. It has 4 oxygen atoms per molecule. So it's kind of like sulfur quad oxide. All right, so it has 4 oxygen atoms per molecule. Now, this sulfate comes from the ground, also man-made, but that's not what we're concerned with. We're concerned with the distribution of it, because when this compound mixes with water, which is vapor in the air, when you mix H2O with SO4, you get a compound called H2SO4, which is better known as sulfuric acid. All right, so all this is all sulfur in the air that's ready to bond with water to make sulfuric acid. When these storms come through, this stuff gets picked up in the storms. See this right here? And when we get hit with these storms are not only dumping tons of water now because there's more particulates in the air for the water to cling to. Now there's bonding with the sulfur, the sulfate in the air, creating a sulfuric acid rain in your storms as well. And it's kind of been a runaway train for a while now, and it's just spreading more and more. White denotes the intensity. Green is like medium, and it used to be mostly in the northern hemisphere, but now it's covering the southern hemisphere. A couple of bands of white starting to show up here in South America. And down here at the very bottom of Antarctica, it's like the only place where there wasn't any of this. And now it's starting to creep into Antarctica now as well. All right, we got to move on. Let's get on over to the earthquakes now. And we did have a little suppression earlier today, but we seem to have had some kind of release. And now we're starting to see pressure from down below, our regular mid-range 4 pressure at 515. All right, so typical deep quake. We have one down here in the catcher's mitt, 0.3 down at 88. And then this region has been very quiet for a while as far as earthquakes, but we have volcanoes in the region. So here we have a 5.1 down at 51. So that's pretty close to the surface. And we see 5.1 energy pretty close to the surface. So a release of energy right there at 5.1 magnitude. Now in this pit area, let me close this out. We have a 4.4 and it's down at 517. So here's another deep quake. Both of those denote the energy down deep starting to come up to the surface. We're having our deeper quakes now. The magnetic submission grip or whatever seems to have released and is now allowing the deeper quakes to rumble and rise. Pressure rise to the surface as well. 4.2 down here or up here at 46 and a 4.7 up here at 35. Okay, now let's get to this one right here. There's Java. This is our main release valve right here where a lot of our SO2 comes out, a lot of volcanic activity, and now earthquake activity. And look, this is perfect. This is 5.0 right on the boundary at 31. That's perfect. That's distributing energy pretty well, causing a bunch of damage. Okay, the rest of this system is very quiet. I would expect to see something 5 to mid-range 5 in this zone, maybe at the fulcrum points here, or one of these little pressure regions where we see these ridges pushing up against each other here. Also, we've seen off of Sumatra here in these little islands and these trenches down in there. So, magnitude 5. I don't think it would be much bigger. This was a 5.1. So, yeah, it would just be a 5, I would think. But look how quiet it is and empty it is. So, it's kind of ready for 5 magnitude. There's a surface there at Turkey, but that whole region is quiet as well. Now, let's get back over here to Taiwan. All right, this is where we're looking at all the orange pressure, hot water between China and Taiwan right there. Okay, and the island's actually surrounded by hot water. So, a lot of pressure in that region. And as you can see, this is a fulcrum point. All right, where all the pressure comes to one point. All right, my bad. And today we had a 5.4. That's down at 36. Here's a 5.7, even shallower at 25, and a 4.8. So these aren't aftershocks. These are a new round of quakes from a new round of pressure, okay? Seismologists are going, what's going on here? How come we're getting larger quakes, 5.7 here, after our, aftershock went down to low range 4s? It's because this is a new round of pressure that's coming in, and it picks out weak spots to vent. Weak spots are plate boundaries, fulcrum points, new little places where there's perforations in the crust. Not much going on there. 4.9. Ooh, actually 5 there in Alaska. I don't see anything reaching this point up here yet. And until we have a mid-range 4 or a 5 there, I think we're pretty quiet, pretty safe right around here. Coming down below California, though, we have a 4.3 down at a depth of 10, which is not bad. That's energy being released at the surface. There's a 4.7, more energy being released at the surface there. The rest of South America, very quiet along this whole area. All right, even out here at this fulcrum point. So we have had a little lull in quakes. Oh, this area, that's where I want to go to. But we did have this area right here go off today. And let's get into it. Our biggest quake was a 6.0 at the surface. All right, that's energy being released. There's a 5 at the surface, and a 5.3, and 4.8. All right, so all these are just all releasing energy at the surface because we have a new weak spot here. And what's going on right here? We have a volcanic island right there. All right, now we pull back, you can see the seafloor here. Let me just a tad bit. Is that picking up right? You can see that this is a little mountain right here. All right, there's the foot of the mountain and the little slopes coming up. We have this little underwater this little mountain range going up here, and your plate boundary. See this little seam right here? Comes right down to this one. Bam. 6.0 right there. So this little area here seems to be our new little weak spot. And if you look, it looks like we got runways coming out of this little island area. Interesting stuff on the seafloor. Boom. That's probably why that volcano formed, because of this plate boundary right here. So, anyways, a new little spot to watch for release of energy here in the mid-Indian Ridge right there. And that's a good spot way down here where there's nobody around. Other place I want to look real quick was up here. All magnitudes real quick. Okay, very quiet up here by New York at least. This is Louisiana. Our regular stuff here at Texas. I just want to make sure we're still seeing a good little flurry coming out of this area. Yes, we are. Good. That's an indicator that pressure's still being relieved. That's why we're not seeing big quakes along here, because we got a lot of pressure release right there. All right, so there's your quake report, I think, for the night. I don't see anything else that's major going on there. Let me clear out some of these. Make room for our volcano report. All right, got a few weight lines in there. 33 erupting, 20 in warning, and 29 in unrest. All right, let's get into. Whoops, I failed to. All right, here we go. Already going into the 27th. Maybe later. Already going into the 27th. Semeru, Ibu, or Ventador, Sangay. Here's a new one. Oh boy. Pui Cordon Kalue. Oh boy. Fun to pronounce. 9,000 feet out of Ibu today. Semeru, 15,000 feet. Okay, that's like its maximum height that we've seen. 15,000. Here's Fuego at 15,000 as well. We got Sangay at 19,000. Reventador, 14,000. Okay, so all of these blasts are way above 10,000 feet. Okay, so we're seeing a lot of pressure being released out of all of these. Here's Sabancaya, 24,000. All right, and then we got open up what was yesterday, or what was today is now yesterday. And we'll get into this one. So Ibu here, 13,000. Semeru, 15. Ducono, 7,000 foot. Popocatépetl, no VA. Same with Santa Guido. Fuego, 15,000. Sangay, 19. Reventador, 14. Sabancaya, 24. And here's our list now. And I didn't see this new one. So Baron Bizamani, Ducono, Ebico Erebus, Urda Ale, Fernandina, Fuego, Ibu, Krakatau. Don't forget about Krakatau and the Sunday Straits. Luatobi, Luatolo, Marapi on Sumatra, Messiah, Murapi, Michael, Nyamara, Niragongo, Popocatépetl, Reventador. Don't forget about Recahanus is still active. Wrong. This one that had the big blast the other day is still active. Sabankaya, Sakurajima, Sangay, Santa Guido, Semaru, Shivalu, Stromboli, Suwanosejima, Tinakula, Villarica, and Yasur. All of those are still currently erupting. I mean, years ago there was Kauai was the only active volcano, and people would come from all around the world to go to Hawaii to see, the active volcanoes there. Now we have 33 active volcanoes that are constantly erupting. And everybody kind of numb to the effect here. Each one of these blasts putting more ash in the air. Okay, that's more particulates for more water droplets. Pretty soon, the air will be able to hold 50% water where it was only able to hold 10% water. And the air will be so thick you won't be able to breathe it. And water droplets will turn into the size of like a apple or a tennis ball or maybe even softball size raindrop. Imagine that, like a water balloon raindrop. Yeah, because of how much water the air can hold now. The more of these blasts we have, the more particulates go up there, the worse this runaway train gets. Unfortunately. Okay, so we went through all of that. Now let's get to our forecast here and get to our main topic, the tornadoes that we had here. If we can, please, Lord. Oh, we have all new data now? I just loaded that up. All right, let's let this new data roll. It's the next coming 24 hours, 48 hours right there. You saw what happened today, all right? Last night when I was pointing out the one green arm where there was no yellow bands in it, no severe, and I said, watch out for that. That could possibly be, and that was today. Okay. So sometimes these events it's just so volatile. Oh, it's very hard to predict. Okay. So I feel for these weather guys. All right. In the meantime, we have this huge, well-organized low. You see this arm up at the top and an arm down at the bottom. It looks like a freaking hurricane, all right? So this thing's twisting away out there over the upper plains, drawing moisture up in this band right here. Okay, we saw all the tornadoes in Iowa and stuff. I think we had 90. We had over 90 tornado warnings. And as I watched what I could catch today, each warning turned out to be a tornado. And one of the tornadoes, as you saw in the intro, was a maxi tornado. It was 3 miles wide at the base with multiple vortice tornado, like 10 tornadoes dancing around each other in a circle, creating one big tornado. It's called a multi-vortex tornado. And the ones that were just produced today were off the hook. There was another weather event that happened today that's very unusual, is to see hail during a tornado. Usually the tornado happens or hail happens. It's either one or the other. You don't see the two happening at the same time in a tornado throwing softball-sized hail at 100 miles an hour. So that was today. This is our current conditions, the nighttime, and we're still having nocturnal events. This isn't our real. Let's come over here to Venture Sky real quick and check in with this. Right, so we're still having a little bit of down here at the tail here in Little Rock. I need to open up my app, on my weather app on my phone real quick, and just take a peek and see if there's any other. Most of the tornado warnings have died down for the day. And yeah, just got some scattered thunderstorms hanging around. But what do I want to do here? So let's go to thunderstorms. Here's our cape. All right, this is our convective available potential energy. All right, this is where you're going to see your thunderstorms, is in this red area, because it has a high convective available potential energy. So this whole area right here is already got a lot of potential energy, a lot of cape. Then as we go into tomorrow, I want to put it at about, well, there's noon tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon, here's convection right there. So that'll be the potential energy, the convective potential energy in that region for tomorrow. Here's a dry line with the storm front right here. It's going to be a very dangerous day tomorrow. If you saw what happened today, here's Cape Ann Shear. I want to take you to, all right, this is called helicity. Now, helicity is the potential for rotation. All right, it's not actual rotation, it's the potential for rotation for tomorrow at convection. This whole area is just, it's going to be very unstable air. Tornadoes popped off very easily today. Instead of having to struggle and struggle and struggle to grow and then set down, they would fire up and within 15 minutes go from a small thunderstorm into a raging tornado. So the eruption time and the blossoming stage has increased. And this is your helicity for tomorrow in that region. Here's your cape, your potential energy. Okay, now when we come back to this, that's your current, that's the morning time tomorrow. Here's noon tomorrow. See this low right here? This one's moving out, this one's moving in, and doing the same thing this one did today, except more intense. Now, out on the horn, out here is where we saw most of the activity on this last storm. When it went through, it had the horn shape on it like this, and it went right up into Iowa. The same thing happening tomorrow at convection. That's the convection right there. Going blossoming hard at nighttime, going nocturnal. Okay, and again with this, we're talking the potential for long track, very big, devastating, long duration tornadoes. All right. That'll be the morning hours. This is going to be off the hook. So at the end of convection right here, when the sun's going down, you're going to have some severe weather. Everybody's going to start to chase and follow that. And then in the nighttime, it gets really nasty going up into Iowa again, you guys. The same area just got hit today. Whoops. Is going to get hit again. Back down through Missouri, back down into Texas. Again, this whole line. And you remember yesterday, this line that I showed you at this juncture had no green, or it was just green. And we saw huge tornadoes today. Imagine what tomorrow's going to be like when they're showing the potential there. Now, this could all reverse around. We could, whoops, did I get the wrong one? We may have just got hit today and we'll see tomorrow, but this new load that's driving up like this looks to be a secondary round right over the same area. That'll be the nighttime of tomorrow night. This will be the morning hours of the 28th. This big long QLCS with this little sub linear up above it is just so dangerous. We need to pray for everybody in that area and get prepared. Warn everybody in that area. The Reluctant were caught off guard today, and a lot of people got injured, but I think, thankfully, nobody died today. I mean, out of all the devastation that happened today, I was actually crying because I could feel the families just losing everything. It's so sad. So their world is over. The world as they knew it has changed, and it's gonna another round tomorrow. Unfortunately, that's the morning hours of the 28th. It dissipates at noon. Fires back up by convection. This horn up here, don't be asleep up there as well. But down here, this could be another long linear storm front, much like that one right there. Okay, forming right through there again. That'll be the convection right there. So it's going to blossom again tomorrow. Well, the 28th. Go nocturnal again in that same region. Morning hours of the 29th. The noon time, the 29th. Convection. The nighttime. A little dissipation there by the morning of the 30th. We're not at the rest of the forecast because all the time that's devoted to that needs to be devoted to this. I want you guys to pay attention to this. All of these areas have very high potential for tomorrow. Okay, go look at some of the other weather forecasters that get way in depth and stuff. They are all very concerned about what's going to happen here tomorrow, and that's where you guys come in. You know, you're the only prayer warriors that really got the power to change this stuff. We can do this. We can minimize damage and save lives. Okay? And a lot of heartache. That morning time right here with this very intense linear storm front growing from as soon as the sun goes down, everything starts to grow and blossom at night. And then this will be around 7 in the morning. This is 5 a.m. Pacific, 6, 7. So, yeah, about 7 in the morning, this big giant 7 is going to be rolling through town. And there's convection. So we're going to see a second round of nighttime. And look how hard this thing curls. This is a really powerful low right here. And it could shift. It could shift a little bit. It could change from this line right here to being just a tad bit in front or a tad bit back. And what happened today, which is so sad, is we get these training effects where you'll have a tornado hit a place and move on, and then another thunderstorm blossoms in the same train, develops into a tornado and hits the same place again. So some place we're getting hit with tornado and then hail right afterwards, or tornado and a thunderstorm. Or tomorrow we could possibly see some towns get hit by a tornado with another one behind it. Okay. It's going to be very, very, very dangerous tomorrow. And if you, it should be conveying to your loved ones or anybody you know in this area to be heads up tomorrow. Today should have been a good wake-up call to wake everybody up. I think today got people's attention. So tomorrow, when this major outbreak like this happens, it'll everybody will be on guard. All right. There were multiple towns with 911 dispatches just having a horrendous day. All right, because they're getting bombarded with calls. So prepare for that tomorrow. Prepare for power outages, evacuations. It might be a good idea to maybe evacuate for the meantime. Go to locals for the day, or I don't know. It's not like going to cover the whole area, but when you look at some of the devastation that happened today, they could have evacuated and avoided that. Anyways, tomorrow's going to be a very, very dangerous day. I pray that everybody gets lots of sleep and is prepared for tomorrow's onslaught. There's going to be probably some, sad news or devastating news out of this. So everybody keep your spirits up, keep your chin up, pray for these people, give them strength and courage, tolerance. It's going to be quite an event. And today's was historic. I mean, there were some huge tornadoes today. The big one was just so big. And that potential's there tomorrow, even in a better way. Now, this little event right here is around May 1st. This would be the convection. 5 p.m. is about sundown for this area. 5 p.m. Pacific, there'll be 7 there. About sundown for that area. So convection. Going into the nighttime, here's another nighttime event, Oklahoma, Kansas area around May 1st. And that could all change. But there's another one of these little nighttime events. And this stuff is so far out there and changing so quickly that I'm just not going to name them off. I'm just going to go through it a little bit. Here we have another one of these wound up blows here. All right. That's about it. I'll just so starting from convection out here on the horn, everybody in Iowa, Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. Draw a line from here all the way down to there. Everybody in this big line, be very aware tomorrow night, and then through the nighttime. And if there's this much moisture in the air and we're seeing severe weather in a quasi-linear storm front during the morning hours, then the sun hits it, I don't think it's going to dissipate and turn into a small little area like that. It'll probably blossom and be one big line from here down to here. From here to here, imagine if it blossomed all the way there. So it has that potential. It shows it dissipating. I pray that that's the case and it does dissipate, but it does gain strength by convection and going into the nighttime, morning again down here, morning event. And icing up here as well. So very, very dangerous time to be in that area. All right. And it's kind of the alley that the shadow took. It's right through that area. Okay, so very, very dangerous day tomorrow. Everybody pray for those people in that area. If you have loved ones, like I said, warn them to stay alert. There's all kinds of apps. There's all kinds of people on YouTube that'll be broadcasting tomorrow. Different storm chasers. There's Ryan Hall, who's good. He has more of a broadcast type thing with Storm Chasers Incorporated, so you get a little bit of everything. Most of you guys already know about Ryan Hall, so be a good place to be around tomorrow because it's going to be vital information for people in those areas. And then the following days, we're talking devastation on a level that's going to be, pretty horrendous. So the following days might be tough for those people in that area for a while. All right. That's it for that. Let's move on now. Let's see, get rid of the volcano. We can do our spiritual report now. And what I wanted to do here was pull up Watch Women's channel again. And I want to show you. Oh, please, Lord, can we have her channel here in a second? Well, while we're waiting for this, just real quick, go over again what she captured the other day. Which ones was it here? Let's just go to our channel. She's capturing more stuff here too, you guys. You should come over and check out this stuff she's getting here. But I wanted to go right to the one that we had right here. No, that's not the one. What was the one we just had with their faces in it? There it is. And we get down here. I think it was at the end here. Yeah. All right. Yeah, the dog and the, well, what looks to be like a spy versus spy character here. Right there's a better shot. Okay, and there's an eye, the nose of the dog, there's his mouth. It's done in shadow, three-dimensional, so you can see a three-dimensional face. It's not like a dog where you make a fluffy cloud his tail and a little fluffy cloud his head, and it could be a leg and that would be the body. No, these are very defined faces that are, well, painted in the clouds. This is God's handiwork right here. And this is the spiritual realm taking place in your clouds. And this has been happening all around me for the last 7 years, 6.5 years now since this all started. But now it's starting to happen all around the world now. And a lot of the people here that are interested in this have been videotaping the clouds and capturing different stuff. And here's a good example right here of somebody else from this channel capturing on their own the spiritual realm in the clouds like I present here. Okay, I need you guys to get that understood. That I'm not the only one capturing these things now. I've shown you other captures from other channels and stuff, but those you might not trust. You might think, hey, that's this channel or that channel, and I wouldn't trust it because I don't know them. Well, this is one of our family members here in this room. So that adds a new aspect to it. She's not a computer hacker. She's not an expert at what's the thing called? I don't even know what it's called, where you can do all kinds of different stuff. Photoshop. This is actually in the clouds here. I'll play this video real quick for you guys so you get to see. And there's other stuff going on in here. But when you see skies like this, there's activity going on, and she can tell these clouds just look strange. Something different about them. I'm going to go record them. And you kind of pan around, try to get them all in there. Get different reference points if you can. There's all different kinds of tricks. You look through your own viewfinder, which compresses the sky down into a 3x4-inch frame. So your phone can do a lot of the compressing of the images for you. So when you see something up in the sky that looks a little questionable, hey, is that a face right there? Bust out your phone and open it up and take some video or look through the viewfinder, and it will shrink the image down, compress it down for you so you'll be able to see it better. Okay. And this is like a typical sky. You're looking around, typical stuff, not seeing much. but there's stuff going on up there, and just give it a minute here, and you'll see it'll pass through the frame. You'll recognize it when it passes through the frame, but you wouldn't recognize it unless we pointed it out first. So there's all kinds of stuff going on in there, but you got to pause it and look around. And I think it's coming up here towards the end here. Yeah, we're coming around to this part of our video. And I'm just doing this to show you that this is natural in the clouds. It's not her faking it. It's not me faking it. This is the spiritual realm taking place in your clouds. Yeah, that's an interesting cloud structure growing there. I would be videotaping it too. Okay, I think it's coming up here in just a second here. Almost look like. And clouds are constantly moving and changing. So sometimes the face will be morphing and change. Oh, you see it now, don't you? But see how easily it's hidden in the sky? See, here's the sun, and it was right by the sun. So it was that structure right there. She pans away for a second. All right, note the location of the sun right here. And I think it's right here. Sorry, I went a little too far back, I think. There's the dog's face growing right there, right above the sun. See? And there's the other character. So if you don't see stuff while you're doing it, go do your recording. Record like she does, 3.5 minutes or however long you like to do it. And then when you post, you just go through this with your cursor like this, and it compresses it down into the smaller frame. And then when you get to the image, it's already compressed and you can see it a lot. Whoops. You can see it a lot easier here at this very end right there when it's all compressed. And that's how you can go through your own videos and edit your own clouds to find your faces. All right. So that once you capture your own stuff, then all of a sudden this channel doesn't seem like it's entertainment too much anymore. It's more serious than you thought, especially when you capture your own stuff or you have a paranormal encounter of your own. Wait until you have a paranormal encounter of your own and nobody believes you. All right, so well done to her. A lot of time and energy and effort and persistence goes into this, but you do capture stuff. So, in that little trick of how to spot stuff that's in a different dimension, this compresses it for you. Okay. All right, so we have that. Now I'm gonna pull up some other images here. That were just captured the other day as well. And we saw what a dog face there. Now, some are angels, dragons, human faces, but they're not always human. Sometimes there's dog faces and different, stuff. Oh, no, I was going to this. All right, I'm going to leave that sitting there for a second, and let's see if you can spot the face in those clouds right there. And this picture was taken at night with a moon filter. All right, so there's this face right here smiling at me in the clouds at night. All right, now here we have the dog. Here's his eyes right here. The sun is, or the moon is right on his nose. And then his chin will be down here. Let me get a better. All right, this is one I captured right after the other day. This is the moon, sorry, at night. This is the moon, and there was a perfectly round cloud right next to the moon. And then the cloud down below makes like a little face. And that's how it paints the sky. Let's see if we can get this just right. Here's the dog face again. It's almost like one a little hug or whatever. An eye here, the eye here. Here's the nose, the ridge of its mouth. I had a better shot. Where was the one that's further back? I think it's this one that's a little bit further back. But you can see that there's a dog again here in the sky. There's an eye right there, the other eye, the ears poking up through the clouds over here. This would be his nose. The moon is actually right in his nose. There's the eyes. Ooh, there we go. Wow, now you can see it. Okay. And that's what's hiding in your clouds. Let me do that again for you. And don't tell me this is pareidolia, because this is a dog face, not a human face. Now what? I got dogadolia. Look how the moon lights up his nose. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah, we tint it out like that. You can see his mouth and his nose, his eyes and his ears a little better there. All right. Ooh, I got an idea. What was hers? Let's do that with hers. Oh, wait, let's get it just a tad centered. All right. So I'm not telling lies or bullshitting you and pulling your chain. Can you see it now? And they're three-dimensional. That's what's amazing. That's how you know this is God's handiwork. What you're looking at is a miracle. All right, that's why they look so strange. That's why it's so odd. This is a miracle. All right, and well done, Watchwoman. You are blessed when you are capturing miracles. You were pointing your camera up to see, so you got rewarded, and now you have results. And now I'm sure you're looking at this channel in a whole new light. Wait until some of this happens to some of you guys. You will start looking at this channel in a different way, more than just entertainment, okay? So, it's important you guys see that stuff. Oh, good. You see, War Eagle, yeah, you can see there's different things going on in there. There's multi-dimensional things going on in here, too. So, if you see something else, too, it could possibly be. Now, imagine when you're out running errands and you got these big old faces in the sky looking at you, watching everything you do. You're like, oh my God, what's going on? It's because of who I am. Okay. And she was inspired she was caught up in the clouds. So she pulled her camera out and started filming the clouds, expectant to see something. And ta-da, that's how this works. Okay. Oh, now that we got that, let me pull up this one. Oh, wait, I wanted to pull up the other. Oh, we could do this. Wait, let's try this one real quick. Whoa. Oh, that was trippy. Okay. Very interesting what's going on in our clouds. Like I said, when you guys go outside, you are going out in it. It's all over the place. It's important that you pray when you go outside. Oh, okay, so let's just go back over this. I want you guys to get this one, too. All kinds of stuff. This one was interesting. This big arm sticking out of the sky with a finger sticking out and a ring on it. That one was interesting, but I want to get to this again. Oh, wait. Go back. This little guy. Where to go? I hit the wrong one. There it is. With the human face, there's his mouth, and he's kind of sad. He's looking down, kind of sad. And get out here and pull it over. And we're looking at this round face right here with an eye and a button nose. And it looks like he's almost a smash face, almost like a pug or something with a human face. Here's his mouth, and he's kind of sad. He's looking down, kind of sad. And you can make out what look like horns or something coming off up there. So I'm going to pull it over a little bit more. And we'll zoom in on it. Okay. You see it now? There we go. Okay, and these faces are just hanging out in the clouds, watching me everywhere I go, studying my every move. And this is like that dog face, all right? A smash face type, canine type face. Very similar to what we just saw, right? Okay, so it's not just me. Other people are capturing this as well. All right, and this reminds me like a character or a painting, like like a Renaissance painting with these faces in the sky. Here's his eye, here's his other eye, and his nose, and he's looking down this way. And then as we pull back, you can see that he's a face in the clouds, like a planet or something with a face on it in the clouds. And we pull back more. And then what's going on here? All right, so let's go back. So that little face is showing up all over. Okay. Now I want to go back to this one. Let me pull up this other image for our reading here in just a second. Looks like we lost a couple people because I was taking too long.
Her Mother's Day with warm and wonderful moments, starting with
or maybe they just saw something
in her honor.
Radiating out this image in the sky. See this face because it's a real face. And if you look back behind it here, let's zoom in just a little bit. You'll notice that back behind here, this face is being projected by Jesus's heart right here. You can see it radiating out. Here's Jesus's face. He's pulling open his shirt, exposing his heart. His heart's radiating out this image.
All right, is that good right there? You guys can see that right there pretty well. I don't mind about the wavy lines in my face. I want you to be able to see this nice and clear right here. In fact, what if we go a tad bit full frame? Is that too much? All right. Real image, real clouds. Okay, real stuff going on. That should bring reassurance to your heart a little bit, okay? Or do some reading to that one for a minute here until I get some other stuff set up. Maybe what time is it? Oh, boy. There's just not enough hours in the day. I can get so much more done if we just had more time in a day. And my list is long. Okay, is that okay? That's just in the video. All right, hopefully you guys see Jesus here pulling open his shirt, exposing his heart. His rays are coming out of his heart. That's love right there coming out. Okay. So let's see. Let's see. Okay, yeah, here we go. This is where I wanted to start. All right, so as you look at that, I want you to think for a second and strive to trust me in more and more areas of your life. Anything that tends to make you anxious is a growth opportunity. Instead of running away from these challenges, embrace them, eager to gain all the blessings I have hidden in these difficulties. If you believe that I am sovereign over every aspect of your life, it is possible to trust me in all situations. So don't waste energy regretting the way things are or thinking about what might have been. Start at the present moment, accepting things exactly as they are, and search for my way in the midst of those circumstances. Trust is like a staff you can lean on. As you journey uphill with me, you're going to need that staff, okay? So you're going to need to learn to trust me, because trust is like a staff you can lean on as you journey uphill with me. We're journeying uphill, okay? If you are trusting in me, and you're trusting in me consistently, the staff will bear as much of your weight as needed. That trust that we have will bear as much of your weight as needed. So lean on, trust, and be confident in me with all your heart and mind. I want you to be all mine. I am weaning you from other dependencies. Your security rests in me alone, not in other people, not in other circumstances. Depending only on me may feel like walking on a tightrope, but there is a safety net underneath. The safety net underneath is my everlasting arms. So don't be afraid of falling. Instead, look ahead to me. I am always in front of you, beckoning you forward, one step at a time. Neither height nor depth nor anything else in all of creation can separate you from my loving presence. Nothing can break that bond right there. Okay, so, oh boy, here we go. Take a deep breath, Brian. All right, so it's all right to be human. When your mind wanders while you're praying, don't be surprised or upset. Simply return your attention to me. Because this happens a lot. Your mind wanders while you're praying. And then you feel kind of embarrassed. Oh, wait, I was in the middle of a prayer. Oh, I was trying to make an important prayer. How embarrassing that it was interrupted. All right. But when that happens, don't let it bother you. Just return your attention to me. Okay. So when your mind wanders while you're praying, don't be surprised or upset. Return your attention to me and share a secret smile with me, knowing that I understand. You know, a secret little smile sometimes you give your wife or your mate. You guys know each other so well. You've been around each other. Oh, wait. I took it down. Anyways, there's an image of a smile that when you catch yourself doing that, you just that simple little smile, that shared secret smile. Okay, so when you get distracted, return your attention to me. Share that secret smile with me, knowing that I understand. Okay, it's the knowing that I understand part too. Go ahead and smile. I understand. I go through the same thing myself. Okay, it's hard. It's simple stuff, but it's hard to do. And I'm right alongside you. Okay, and ahead of you too. So, oh dear, I lost my place there. Yeah. Okay, move on to these other ones I got here. I got actually, I want to bring up this other image. You guys see that? All right, good. We need to get back to this one because this one is very important too. You may be tired of looking at it, but for people who come to see the replay that haven't been to this channel before, we still got to keep doing this. This weekend part. Lord, can we have the favorites, please? Yeah, that one right there. 2,000-year-old prophecy came true on Easter right there and turned into a lion face. I want you to walk with me in close, trusting love bonds of joyful dependence. Okay? Joyful dependence may sound like an oxymoron, but it's the most fulfilling way to live. When you delight in relying on me, you are living according to my perfect design for you. When you delight in relying on me, not when you're angry and relying on me. When you delight in relying on me, that's when you're living according to my perfect design for you. This relationship that we have, this relationship that I offer you, is full of glorious riches. I am totally trustworthy, and I reach out to you with unfailing love. I am closer than the very air you are breathing. I rejoice when you seek to live in trusting reliance on me. Wouldn't you rejoice don't you rejoice when your kids seek or trusting reliance on you as a parent? Doesn't that make you happy when your kids seek to trust and rely on you as a parent? That's the same feeling. I rejoice when I see my children living in trusting reliance on me. And that's what strengthens our relationship. Okay, we have a relationship going on here at this channel. You guys are getting to know me. I'm getting to know you. We're getting to know a lot more than the rest of the world gets to. Because this is a relationship that we have. And this relationship I offer you is full of glorious riches. Okay? Rejoice to live in trusting reliance. That strengthens our relationship, and it builds more and more bonds of affection between us. Okay, remember when I was talking about the smile, like a married woman and man can smile at each other and they kind of already know what each other's thinking? So a happily married man and a woman are connected by much more than law and morality. Their warm memories of shared experiences create ties that draw them close and keep them committed to each other. You guys are committed to this part of the show. I'm committed to bringing it to you every night. This strengthens our relationship. We're building warm memories. We have shared experiences here. It creates these ties between you and me that draw us closer to each other. I want you to know that I am totally committed to you. I can fill your heart with loving memories as you walk in the light of my presence, joyfully depending on me. I don't want that. Should be over on the other stack. Oh, I need the backside of that one. Okay, bring it back here. All right, you will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. All your heart. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. I don't expect perfection in this pursuit, and it's not about that at all. It is the effort itself that pleases me. And when you keep on seeking me, even though it's so difficult, actually the intensity of this challenge blesses you. The intensity of this challenge of seeking me blesses you. Hopefully you understand that. As you strive to find me in your moments, your focus is on me. While you trudge towards me through countless distractions, your awareness of me starts to increase. Even if you don't feel close to me, you find yourself communicating with me anyway. So there is a sense in which your efforts to find me are self-fulfilling. I am richly present in your striving. Oh, whoa. Did you know that part? Yeah. So even when you're not seeking me, or even when you're seeking me and you can't finally find me, I'm richly present in your striving. That's what you're doing here. You're striving. I'm richly present in your striving. And as a result, you feel more alive, more awake, and real when you're actively pursuing me. So when you're sitting here listening to me and you're looking at me, you find yourself communicating with me. There is a sense in which your efforts to find me are self-fulfilling. I am richly present in your striving. As a result, it makes you feel more alive, more awake, and more real. Okay? Before you came here, Now, when you see this and you hear me, do you feel more alive now? Are you more awake? You thought you were woke before. Oh, now you're awake. And your life has purpose now. You feel more real. You understand your purpose here now on this planet. You're a spiritual warrior attaining spiritual achievements. And as a result, you feel more alive and more awake and more real when you're actively pursuing me. Your willingness to pour yourself into this glorious quest delights my heart. It would be like your kids saying, Daddy, I want to go off and I want to save the world. I want to be a firefighter. I want to help people or whatever. That would make you feel good if your kids were willing to pour themselves into a glorious quest. It would delight your heart, wouldn't it? Well, the same thing. Your willingness to pour yourself into this glorious quest that we're doing right now, it delights my heart. And this joyful journey is all about perseverance, okay? So as long as you continue seeking me, you are on the right path. And moreover, your success is certain, and I will be found by you. Well, I have been found by you, haven't I? I have been found by you. Because I didn't come out and say certain words. No, you figured it out, and I was found by you. When you believed. Okay? So, I'm making everything new, all right? This is the opposite of what is always happening in this world of death and decay. Every day that you live means one less day remaining in your lifespan on this earth. Actually, this is good news for my followers, because at the end of each day, you can tell yourself, I'm one step closer to heaven. Okay? You guys got to get that attitude under your belt now. I'm making everything new. The music's new. If you're doing your homework, your music is new. Your vision is new, isn't it? Don't you have a new way of perceiving things now? Okay, so I make everything new. The opposite of what's happening in this world. And every day that you live is one less day on this earth. You are one step closer to heaven. You need to adjust your perspective and look at it that way. Okay? This world is in such a desperately fallen condition that there is only one remedy for it, and that's making everything new. So, don't be discouraged when your efforts to improve matters are unsuccessful. Don't be discouraged when your efforts to improve matters are unsuccessful. All things, including your efforts, are tainted by sin. Although I want you to endeavor to do your best in dependence on me, your world needs much more than a tune-up or an overhaul. It needs to be made completely new. And this is absolutely guaranteed to happen at the end of time. For my words are trustworthy and true. And you have good reason to rejoice, because I will make everything, including you, new and gloriously perfect. You have good reason to rejoice, because I will make everything, including you, new and gloriously perfect. Because I'm making everything new. Remember, one less day every night when you go to self, you can tell yourself, I'm one step closer to heaven. Everybody else is sweating bullets, but you can sleep well at night knowing that you are one step closer to heaven. Okay, and then I'm going to close with this part right here. Hopefully, yeah, there's a few stragglers. All right, good. Do I want this? Yeah, I'll just leave that image up there for this closer. Okay, so lately we've been talking about joy and some strength, both together. So strength and joy are in my dwelling place. So the closer to me you live, the stronger and more joyful you will be. Understand how this works? Strength and joy are in my dwelling place. So that's you, because I dwell inside you. So strength and joy are in you. The closer to me you live, the stronger you are, and the more joyful you become. So invite me to permeate your moments with my presence. This helps you view people from a positive perspective. Okay? Very, very simple stuff, but very hard to do. Okay? Invite me to permeate your moments with my presence. Every moment with my presence. This helps you view people from a positive perspective now. So it's not their fault. The people, you view them because they're growing. You're starting to view them from a positive perspective. They know not what they do. They're learning. You start to see them from a different light. They're just ignorant and they need to learn more is all. You have pity on them, or not pity, but you understand. So whenever you're around someone who irritates you, don't focus on that person's flaws. Instead, gaze at me through the eyes of your heart, and those irritants will wash over you without harming you or hurting the other person. Okay, so it's hard, but whenever you're around someone who irritates you, don't focus on that person's flaws. Remember, they know not what they do. Gaze at me through the eyes of your heart. When you're looking at that person, pretend like you're looking at me through the eyes of your heart, and those irritants will wash over you without even harming you or hurting others. Okay? When you see that it's God working through that person, all of a sudden they don't irritate you. They become something to focus on. All right. Judging other people is a sinful snare that draws you away from me. How much better it is to be joyful in me. The more you focus on me, the more I can strengthen you. In fact, I am your strength. You can train your mind to stay aware of me even when other things are demanding your attention. I created you with an amazing brain that is able to be conscious of several things at once. So, create a permanent place for me in your mind, and my light will shine on all your moments. Okay? Strength and joy are the dwelling place. Closer to me you live, the stronger and more joyful you'll be. The more you focus on me, the more I can strengthen you. Fill yourself up, every nook, crevice, until you're overflowing. Okay, with love, with trust, with confidence, with strength, with security, everything that comes along with this. Okay, and the moment you believe me, the miracles happen. And you look at Watchwoman of the Dragon. She believed me. She saw these images and was like, hey, there is something going on up there in the clouds. I believe him. I'm going to go capture something myself. And she got caught up in the clouds. And now she's capturing stuff herself. Okay, she's caught up in the clouds. She's caught up with me in the clouds like you guys are right now. If you find this image fascinating and you're wondering how it happened, you're caught up in it. You're fascinated, right? And if you're caught up with me in the clouds here, okay, that fulfills that part, then you're meeting me in the air. We are in cyberspace, okay? That's the airwaves. So you are meeting me over YouTube, over the air. You're meeting me in the air. because you were caught up with me in the clouds. All right. Start to see how this is working. And what's weird is this feeling comes that, oh, dang it, I was hoping I was going to get lifted up into the sky. I thought rapture was going to be this wonderful thing that Hollywood portrayed. I wanted to get sucked up into the sky. Well, wait a second. What if you hadn't found this and found this channel and you still had doubts and didn't know? Now you are past faith. You're into a stage of knowing now. That's the secure you have in your heart. That's the sensation of being raptured, all right? So, even though you didn't get lifted up into the sky, aren't you glad you didn't miss out? So look at it from that perspective. Even though you didn't get lifted up into the sky like Hollywood said, aren't you glad you didn't miss out? Because the rapture is happening. It's just not happening the way Hollywood portrayed it. Okay? And as the people that have been raptured, they're caught up in the clouds and they're capturing stuff themselves. That they're capturing their own miracles, right? Why? Because they believed. Why? Because they were caught up. Why? Because they got it caught up in the clouds and now they're capturing stuff themselves. And once you get caught up in this, it's hard to look away. It's hard to go about your life and try to drive through town and do errands when all these things are changing shape in the sky and smiling at you and winking at you and doing all kinds of crazy stuff to get your attention. Okay? So, when you look up expectantly, you will be rewarded. Okay? And persistence, it doesn't happen on the first one. Sometimes it doesn't happen on the second one. Sometimes it does, and you just didn't see it. You overlooked it, or you didn't. A lot of these things are at an angle. You didn't see this until you tilted your head to the right at first. Now you can see it without tilting your head. But some of your images, that you're capturing are at an angle or possibly upside down. So even though you got some images and you don't think there's anything in them, try looking at them from a different perspective. Right? From a different perspective. All right. I think that's it for tonight. I got a lot to do still. I love you all. I miss you all. And, this outbreak tomorrow, everybody just be on top of it. Everybody give warnings to your friends and stuff where to go here. Let me just pull this up real quick. Bing, 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 bing. There's noontime right there, all right? Hitting Iowa, Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas. That's the noontime. Come on now. Let me have the convection. Whoops. That is convection right there. That is nighttime. Sorry, not noon. That is nighttime of the 27th, all right? So we're going to have nocturnal tornadoes and possibly big ones again like we saw today. Long track, maxi tornado, just a lot of devastation. So they need every prayer we can give them. So everybody pray for these people in this area. And you really want some power in your prayers? I'm going to say some on my knees tonight. Because when you get on your knees, that shows God that you mean business. It's not a matter of like being submission. He's like, ooh, it hurts to get down and bend over and get back up, I know, but you're doing it anyways to get on your knees. That shows me you mean business. And when you're on your knees praying, there's a lot more power to them. Okay, because you're stepping on the gas pedal a little bit and saying, hey, I really mean this one. Okay. And pray for these people, for their strength and tolerance, endurance. Their lives are going to change. Most of these people in this region had a very rough day already, and they're going to have a very rough day again tomorrow. So it's going to be Very, very hard on these people, and they could use any kind of help, support, prayers. Keep hearing this term thoughts and prayers going out. Oh, thoughts and prayers going out. No, you said the term thought and prayer, but you didn't think about them, and then you didn't do a proper prayer for them. Jesus, I ask you, give these people strength, give them fortitude, give them tolerance as they go through this affliction, this horrific event that has changed their lives. Okay, and if the shoe was on the other foot, wouldn't you want somebody praying for you as well? Especially when the people know that their prayers work. Okay, like the people at this channel, when you know your prayers work, it's you guys and me. We're gonna take this on. All right, let's lessen the damage. Let's lessen the people hurt. Okay, let's pray for them, for their strength and their tolerance and their awareness that they don't get caught off guard. That's the nighttime, and then it just gets ugly in the morning hours. Okay, and let's pray for everybody in there. I pray that today's event was the event, and that tomorrow fizzles out, and that this just totally doesn't pan out to be anything, and everybody's disappointed. That would be wonderful. Okay, but I don't think that's going to happen. So in the meantime, we need to have real thoughts. Look at some of the devastation. These people's lives have been changed. How would your life hasn't been uprooted? So be grateful that you still have a house, and that your life isn't uprooted. Okay, that thankfulness right there before a prayer, when you thank him before you pray, thank you for all the blessings for today, none of which would have been available if it wasn't for your sacrifice. So ultimately, thank you for the sacrifice and all the blessings that came from that today. And we pray, Lord, that tomorrow you have mercy on these people. Show them mercy and spare them heartache and devastation, because it's not a good, comfortable feeling inside your heart when you've lost everything that you've worked hard for. Okay, so everybody, more than thoughts, more than prayers, think about it, and then pray a real prayer on your knees, and let's help these people. Okay. I think that's it for tonight. I love you all. I miss you all. You know what? I got to go through here and say thanks to, real quick before we close out, Scan family, thank you for being here. Jimmy, you're a spiritual warrior, bud. Cindy, you're doing awesome. You have been my best sharer ever on this channel. You have shared my stream more than anybody on this channel. Do you know what that means? Do you understand the blessing that how blessed you are, Cindy, for doing that? Everybody that shares this is blessed. Leslie, thank you so much for being here. Jimmy, we got a few other people that were here. Oh, Surfer Girl, I love you, darling. Even if you did fall asleep, I'll be there to tuck you in and kiss you on the cheek goodnight. Watch over you while you're sleeping. Spiritual Wackadoo, thank you for being here, bud. I hope you're enjoying this. Sean James as well, thank you for being here, you guys. I put you through a lot at this channel, okay? So I pray strength. Oh, Tanya Womack, thank you for being here as well. I pray for strength and courage for all of my audience as well, because this is very disturbing information and can be hard on you. All right, so I also pray for you guys before each show that you guys have strength and tolerance and acceptance in understanding what all's going on the planet, and then up in the clouds and in the spiritual realm as well as your own spiritual health. Okay, so I miss you all. I love you all, and until my next show, I will be back. I am already back, and I am still to come. That's it for tonight. I love you all. Bye.